As you guys have seen in the title, this is my first time playing Metal Gear Solid 1, and before you start booing, I have played some of the other games, so don't leave any mean comments. I've been playing this franchise in chronological order to get the most out of the story, but it has been a bit of a ride going from the best FPS shooter of 2015 to an 8-bit game that's 19 years older than me. Snake has truly become an icon in the gaming industry, featuring in many games such as Super Smash Bros, Little Big Planet, and most notably, Fortnite.
Holy crap, I'm in Fortnite! Oh my gosh, this is so freaking epic!
This game has everything from 40-minute cutscenes to guys wearing shitty trousers,
kinda damn cold.
questionable character names,
Just call me Deep Throat.
Deep throat.
and pissed pants, which seems to be a reoccurring feature in the series.
Yes. Let yourself go.
I've enjoyed my time with this game, and I think it's a must-play game, even though I was swimming around in my dad's nutsack when the game came out. One thing I found out about the game whilst making this video is that Kojima used Legos to decide on the camera angles to make the game as immersive as possible. Therefore, in my opinion, the creator of this series,
Hideo Kojima,
is nothing short of a legend and an icon. To kick the game off, Solid Snake has to infiltrate an Alaskan nuclear weapon disposal facility that has been taken over by terrorists, with his objective being 1. Find the DARPA Chief and get information from him on the terrorist. 2. Neutralize a terrorist group known as Foxhound to stop them from launching nukes. And 3. If worst comes to worst, destroy the device that they are using to launch nukes. Unfortunately for Snake, this mission starts with him having no equipment and no items.
Remember, except for your binoculars, you're naked.
However, that doesn't seem to stop Snake from smuggling in cigarettes by hiding them in his stomach. I guess if you're that addicted to nicotine, anything is possible.
By the way, sorry to disappoint you, but I did manage to smuggle out my smokes.
How did you do that?
In my stomach.
After Snake wraps up his flirting,
I just didn't expect a world-class designer of military technology to be so cute.
we infiltrate the base through an air vent. Must have been the wind. We make our way to the elevator and go down a floor where Snake finds himself confused by the opposite sex.
Is that a woman?
Snake then drops in on the DARPA Chief and he confirms that the terrorists have the ability to launch a nuke with the help of Metal Gear Rex, a nuclear equipped walking battle tank that can launch from anywhere on the planet. Snake then gets his next objective, which is to rescue President Baker and find the override key he's holding so he can shut down Metal Gear. That would be the sound of someone after only drinking G Fuel for a week straight. After the DARPA Chief has a heart attack, you get introduced to Meryl, who seems to have drank speed cola to increase her clothes swapping time.
Don't move!
I would also like to point out that she stole the uniform off the guard who was shitting himself with his trousers on, so she's basically walking around with this guy's skid marks rubbing on her. After Snake bullies Meryl,
You shoot me, rookie. They're rookies' eyes if I ever saw them. You haven't even taken the safety off, rookie.
they team up to take out the oncoming guards. Meryl then leaves Snake in the dust but decides to give him a present. We then suddenly get introduced to our first antagonist.
Just like that.
We find President Baker tied up in Ocelot's dungeon. I'll leave what kind of dungeon it is up to your imagination. Ocelot comes out revolver blazing, and age doesn't seem to have slowed him down one bit. See what I did there? If anything, Ocelot has perfected his craft so much that he's able to ricochet bullets off the wall to hit you. Unfortunately for Ocelot, our resident invisible tweaking ninja doesn't appreciate his gunslinging and cuts his hand off. He really must like that revolver if his hand is still holding onto it after it's been chopped off.
Oh, that's right. It should be on the back of the CD case.
Yes, you heard that right. To get the frequency to call Meryl back in the day, you had to read the back of the Metal Gear disc. Unfortunately, President Baker breaking the fourth wall called forth eternal damnation.
What?
Or like the DARPA Chief, he'd been sipping until it's G Fuel. Once again, Snake can't contain his libido.
You trying to sweep me off my feet?
Don't worry. You'll land back on them once you meet me.
Don't worry, I'm disguised in this enemy uniform.
You won't be for long with the way you walk.
What does that mean?
Nothing.
Listen, Snake, the cargo door is like an airlock. It's equipped with infrared sensors. Be careful.
Unlucky me, as I ran past the thermal scope, and that is now locked until later in the game. Surprisingly, Snake's cigarettes actually come in useful here, as instead of chain smoking them on the mission, he's able to use them to see the infrared lasers. We then come face to face with an M1 tank.
With your weapons, the only way to beat it is to attack the soldiers inside through the hatch. Try to aim at the upper hatch with your grenades.
What do you mean? Snake almost ends up on an Instagram reel, but decides
I'm gonna do my own thing.
and somehow survives getting ran over by a tank which weighs 60 tons. Here is where we get introduced to Otacon, a genius engineer who wets himself at the first sign of trouble. Cyborg Ninja, otherwise known as our Resident Evil tweaking ninja, challenges Snake to a duel, and after Snake gives him a knuckle sandwich, he decides to drop his sword and tries to run and fade with me. After this, I reintroduce him to my fist and he decides to get kinky and screams. When Snake meets his demands, he randomly decides to go kaboom and continues to fight even though he has no health left. How are you not dead? After you run Cyborg Ninja's fade, he starts tweaking and runs off, and then you get properly introduced to Otacon, who for some reason wears his piss pants for the rest of the game. Surprisingly, Otacon didn't know that Metal Gear Rex was a nuclear war machine, and built it because he liked anime.
I became a scientist because I wanted to make robots like the ones in the Japanese animes. Really, it's true.
After he finds out Metal Gear Rex is going to be used as a nuclear weapon, he decides to help Snake and gives him his level 4 clearance card. Otacon then gives Snake a detailed description of Meryl's ass.
She kind of wiggles her behind.
You were really looking.
After this, he gets a Harry Potter cloak and disappears.
Sayonara.
Snake is tasked with finding Meryl, and the only way you can do that is by listening out for her ass. No, I am not exaggerating. Bro, there's no way. After you find Meryl and get a level 5 security clearance, she has a Cyborg Ninja moment and starts tweaking out. Meryl tweaking out is caused by none other than COVID Patient Zero, aka Psycho Mantis, who is a creepy telepath who has taken over Meryl's mind. This was probably one of my favourite fights, but not for the reasons you might think. The combat itself is the same, but the way they make it feel like the telekinesis can reach you in real life is cool as fuck. For example, he is able to vibrate the player's controller.
Put your controller on the floor. Put it down as flat as you can. That's good. Now I will move your controller.
And back in the day, the game would read out the game card and the cutscene would change depending on what game you had recently played.
So, you like Suikoden? So, you like Azure Dreams? You like Castlevania, don't you?
If you thought he was done breaking the fourth wall, he's not done yet. If you have your controller plugged into the first port, he's able to read your mind, so to say. But if you swap it into the second port, he no longer can, and stops being able to predict your moves. After you make this change, he references this in the cutscene, and he gets increasingly frustrated.
Why? Why couldn't I read your mind?
A bonus feature is that he makes it seem like your HDMI port is no longer working as you get put onto this screen. When you finally beat him, he gets finished off by Meryl saying,
Oh, gross.
Next, you sneak past some stray wolves with Meryl, and then Meryl gets put in a 2018 Fortnite sniper montage, and Snake is forced to leave her behind because the enemy sniper is using her as bait. We are then told,
You'll need a sniper rifle.
we need a sniper to beat her, which I conveniently had not picked up. After some backtracking and a few YouTube guides later, I made it to the sniper. Cue backtracking. After making this treacherous trip, I made my way back to Sniper Wolf and showed her how I used to get down on Modern Warfare 2019. She perishes.
It's hard to miss
Or
when
not.
you're close. Toss your weapon over here. Slowly.
After getting captured, Ocelot runs your loot and breaks the fourth wall a few times and forces you into a Mortal Kombat tower.
Don't even think about using auto fire, or I'll know.
Yet again, a character breaks the fourth wall, but this time it is to stop you from cheating. You see, back when the game first came out, people would use third-party controllers that were able to auto-fire a button instead of the player having to manually mash it. Certain controllers, which had this feature, would be picked up by Ocelot, and you wouldn't be able to survive the torture due to this. After mashing your button into the controller, you get to share a prison cell with the DARPA Chief's decomposing corpse, which is likely to be the actual DARPA Chief, making the other one a clone. Even though Snake has been captured and is being viciously tortured, he remains in control of the situation. You spin me right round, baby, round, round like a wreck, baby. After you show Ocelot that his electrocution machine ain't shit, Naomi breaks the fourth wall and gives you a massage through the controller vibration.
Snake, put the controller up against your arm.
What?
I try to hide under the bed to trick the guard, but he just starts making fun of my strategy.
What the hell are you doing?
But I get the last laugh, as this is the same guard from earlier who shat his pants and got stripped down by Meryl. However, he did learn from his previous mistake and sprints towards the bathroom as his bowels start to turn. Whilst the guard is gone, Octagon brings me A. a weapon, B. a keycard for the door, C. a bottle of ketchup and a napkin. If he said A or B, I'm sorry to say that you are incorrect.
I thought you might be hungry.
However stupid this sounds, I was able to escape the cell by using the ketchup to act as blood so the guard would open the door. You run for your life and get your stuff back. Here, you are able to make use of Sniper Ball's napkin to tame the doggies, as the napkin smells like her. Snake proceeds to the next area and conveniently forgets all of his stealth training and walks in front of a CCTV camera. And gets jumped by about 30 guards as he tries to run up a tower. Thankfully, I knew that you were able to shoot and run at the same time, because I used this against Ocelot. After getting flashbacks to the Metal Gear Solid 3 ladder. What a thrill. Darkness and silence through the night. Snake makes it to the top, where he is greeted by Liquid, waiting in the chopper gunner. Must have got a 10 kill streak, huh? Snake decides to get his rocket launcher gold, using Liquid's chopper gunner, and sends him to the gulag. For a genius, Octagon seems to lack some common sense. Snake proceeds to fight off 5 people in an elevator, which kind of went like this. After dispatching them, he decides to not pick up their stealth suits for some reason. Sniper Wolf catches Snake lacking and crossbaps him. Octagon proceeds to simp.
Snake, please don't kill her.
Are you insane?
Please, she's a good person. Wolf, Snake, no!
Quiet! Don't get in our way.
Another MGS character. Snake reintroduces her to his sniper and bests her in battle again. Unfortunately, in the original version of the game, Snake doesn't backflip for no reason, as this is only present in the remake, Twin Snakes.
Is he gonna do it? Yes, 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 yes! Can you take me higher to a place?
But this time, Sniper Wolf is actually down for the count, and we get a law drop, as Octagon cries while still wearing the same piss pants from earlier. In all seriousness, I do think that the game does a good job at showing that Snake does care, but masks his emotions for the sake of his mission and his status.
You're different. Untamed. Solitary. You're no dog. You're a wolf.
At this point, you have to swap to the second disc, which isn't an actual feature on PC, but back in the day, the game was too big to fit onto a single disc, probably due to it being the first 3D game in the series, but I'm not sure, as I couldn't find anything solid online. If anyone knows, feel free to enlighten me in the comment section.